Hello, amazing humans. Welcome to video 4, I think. I should have double checked. This is turned into a mini series of who do I have to become to have the experiences that I want to have. And so over the last 2 days, I gave you, I guess, an assignment or something to do to move you, um, more towards what you want. And so the first day I had you just focusing on your morning. What does your morning look like as you are the person who has the experience that you want to have? And then yesterday, I had you combine the morning, the afternoon, and the evening and spend a whole day of what does that experience look like and who do you have to be in order to have that experience? So if you are that person, what does your day look like? And I wanted you to journal it or write it out. And if you didn't do that, that's okay. You could visualize or use your imagination because remember, there's no rules on how to do this. It's just the guideline. And we all have to do what works for us. And so I wanted to share just really quickly this morning. So I live in the northern states and we have snow and more is coming tonight. And I thought, one of the experiences that is part of my, the person that I want to become is that I want to have a second home in Florida. And so I would be a coach between here and Florida. So I thought, you know what? It's cold outside, but I want to really step in and act as if. So I got my hair up and I just did this visualization of I just got out of the pool and my hair had dried in the sun. And I decided to put on a short sleeve shirt, even though I'm freezing. And so I was acting as if I was stepping into that experience of getting out of a swimming pool and putting my hair up and getting dressed and then showing up to do a coaching call. That was the idea that I had in my head, is that if I'm becoming the person who has the experiences that I want, that is something that I could do to act as if or become that person. Like I'm stepping into, I would say the future, but I'm just stepping into that experience. So that is one way to do things. So what I want you to do now that you've spent a whole day in that experience, and of course, I talked about how you want to incorporate your five senses, like how do you feel? So even though I'm wearing short sleeves, I had closed my eyes and did a visualization where I visualized that the sun was shining down on me and I was drying off in a lounge chair. And of course, I started with swimming and then I was drying off in a lounge chair, just soaking all the sun up. And I just, felt like I could feel this warmth throughout my whole body. And then I went and I got my "You Are Amazing" shirt on today. And so that is something that I would wear to a coaching call. I thought before, so let me back up for just a minute. Sometimes we have these certain perceptions that we have to show up a certain way in order to be the things. And so I had joked the other day about being like a coach or a couch coach. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, but I was thinking about, how a lot of times I would show up to a Zoom call and, we would all kind of joke about, I'm dressed from here up. I may have pajama bottoms on, or I actually may have gotten dressed that day. And so I thought, is that really a bad thing? Like I had this judgment about it. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe, and maybe, and I wasn't going to do this because it's too cold, but I thought to myself, maybe I show up in my bathing suit with a bathing suit cover up on. And so maybe when it's warmer here, that is something that I'll do with my clients. So again, it's if you find that you're having any judgments about things that you would or wouldn't do, let them go and just be open to really stepping into what that experience feels like. Because I know that the person I'm becoming, she doesn't worry about that. And she is professional in how she shows up for her clients. And so those are just some of the things that, again, as I'm going through this experience with you, and as I'm sharing and teaching you guys, there are some things that are going to come up that I want you to check yourself if it's a judgment. So, and that's kind of a side note. So here's what I want you to do today. So I want you to go back through what if you just made it like a list, or if you actually journaled it, or if you just visualized it. Now I want you to take something from that experience or that day, and how can you bring it into your life right now? And I gave you my example of, today I did the whole visualization thing of getting out of the swimming pool and lounging in a chair with the sun shining on me and then putting on a short sleeve shirt, even though it's cold here. So, what is something, I'll give you another example. Let's say you want to have the experience of let's just use a beach vacation. So, what is something that you did that day that you could do now? Does that make sense? So, let's say if it's amazing beach vacation, maybe you go snorkeling. So, how could you bring snorkeling into your current reality, right? Well, maybe you would go put some goggles on, or maybe you would put on your swimsuit, or maybe you would go sit on a beach towel. Maybe you could put a beach towel, on your couch and pretend that you're, lounging at the beach. Or maybe you have a cocktail, and so maybe go out to a restaurant and get that cocktail, and just while you're sitting there, just imagine that the scenery around you is you're at the beach, even though you're sitting somewhere that isn't exactly the beach. So just find one thing that was in your day that you can bring that experience into your life right now, stepping into being the person who's having this experience right now. So that is your assignment for today. Go back through what that whole day looks like and find something that you can bring into your life right now, today, in this moment. And of course, these videos have been about 24 hours apart. So you've got 24 hours between now and then to do that. And don't get stuck, because here's where we trip ourselves up. Well, there isn't anything I can do. It can be something very small. It could be, I'll try to think of another example here. Maybe it's not a beach vacation. Maybe it's not, being a coach or how you show up for that. What's another example? Um, Maybe you want a loving relationship, or maybe you want a partner in life. And so you wrote about what that experience looks like. So perhaps you write yourself a little love note from your partner to you. Or maybe you stop and you buy yourself a bouquet of flowers and then put a note on it and then set it somewhere that you're going to see it. Again, this isn't about spending money. It's just finding something very small to put you in I'm becoming the person who has the experiences I want to have. And then there's one last thing I want to share with you today. Actually, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I want you to just stay focused on this. I don't want to overwhelm you with this. And tomorrow is the last day for this little mini series, and we're gonna it's one last assignment, and then you can use all this moving forward. So for today, take that experience of what the day looks like in your experience, and then I want you to step into that experience physically. And here's something else to keep in mind. So whatever your experience is, maybe think about what your five senses are, right? So what are you seeing? So maybe you go to Pinterest or Canva or just Google and find a picture of something that you saw or did, and you just look at it as if you're in that moment. Something else you can do. Maybe you hear something. So again, going back to the beach vacation, maybe play ocean waves in the background and just close your eyes, putting yourself in that experience of sitting at the beach, hearing the waves. And if it had something to do with love, watch a romantic movie. Or again, these are just all ideas. Sorry for the dogs barking. And find something that just brings you into using your five senses. Maybe you touch something. So find something that gives you the sensation of something that happened throughout your day. Or what I've covered, what you see, what you hear. Maybe there's a smell. So what are you smelling? If you have essential oils, maybe you can incorporate that sense of smell and just sit and do that. So, and then here's one other thing I want to add for today. And this will go into more detail tomorrow. But check in with your five senses and how you can have that experience. It's something very small, and it doesn't have to be that you go spend money. And then also, I want you to think about, what feeling did you have during your experience? What feelings come up? And there are a ton of ways that you can determine what your feelings are. You can go list or go to Google and pull up feelings, but just read what you wrote, and what does that feeling, like, what is evoked in you? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you joyful? Are you relaxed? Are you calm? Are you peaceful? So sorry, the dogs, I'm almost done. So incorporate that as well. I want you to write down the feeling that that experience gave you, or the experience or the feeling that you get when you do that small thing to put yourself into that experience. So if you have any questions, please ask down below. Again, I hope that this is resonating with you. And if you do have questions, I will comment as quickly as I can. And until the next time, tomorrow, you go be an amazing human. Have an amazing day. Sending you lots of love, light, and really big hugs. Mwah. See you next time.